Ethan never liked silence. That was why he always played music while showering. The tiny apartment in Seattle already felt unsettling enough at night. The old pipes groaned inside the walls. The floorboards creaked without reason, and sometimes he swore he heard footsteps above him, even though the landlord insisted the top floor was empty. But the bathroom was the worst place in the apartment, especially after midnight. The room had no windows, only pale yellow tiles and a rusted mirror hanging above the sink. Every sound echoed strangely inside it. Even breathing felt louder there. Still, Ethan ignored the discomfort. He worked late shifts repairing servers for a tech company, which meant he usually came home around 1 or 2 a.m. A hot shower became part of his nightly routine, until the noises started. The first time it happened, he thought it was imagination. Ethan stood under steaming water, with music playing softly from his phone outside the shower curtain, when he heard another sound mixed with the running water. Breathing slow. Heavy breathing. He froze instantly. The sound seemed incredibly close, almost like someone stood directly outside the curtain. Ethan quickly pulled it open. Nobody there. The bathroom door remained locked. He laughed nervously at himself and blamed exhaustion. But the next night it happened again. This time the breathing sounded clearer, closer. And when Ethan opened the curtain, the mirror above the sink looked fogged except for one strange detail: a clean handprint pressed against the center of the glass from the outside. Ethan stared at it in confusion. He lived alone. The handprint looked too large to be his. That night he barely slept. Over the next week, things became worse. The breathing returned every single shower, sometimes accompanied by soft tapping against the bathroom tiles, other times by faint whispers, hidden beneath the sound of running water. Ethan tried ignoring it. Until Thursday night, rain hammered the city, while thunder shook the apartment windows. Ethan arrived home, exhausted after a 14-hour shift, and immediately turned on the shower. Steam quickly filled the bathroom. He stepped beneath the hot water and closed his eyes for a moment. Then came the tapping. 3 slow taps against the shower wall. Ethan opened his eyes instantly. Tap, tap, tap. The sound came again, from inside the wall beside him. His chest tightened. Old pipes, he told himself. Nothing else. Then the tapping slowly moved upward, like fingers dragging across the inside of the wall. Ethan stepped backward nervously. The bathroom light flickered once. Then again the breathing returned, louder than ever. Directly outside the curtain, Ethan's heart pounded violently. He grabbed the curtain and yanked it open. Nothing there. But the bathroom door was now slightly open. Ethan knew he locked it. Cold fear spread through him. He quickly shut off the shower and wrapped a towel around himself. As he reached for the door handle, he noticed something written across the fogged mirror. "Don't close your eyes." Ethan stumbled backward. The words looked freshly written by a finger through condensation. His breathing became shaky. Someone had to be inside the apartment. He grabbed a kitchen knife and searched every room. Nothing. No intruder. No open windows. No sign anyone else had entered. But when he returned to the bathroom, the writing on the mirror had disappeared completely. Only the large handprint remained. The next morning, Ethan called the landlord. An older man named Walter arrived around noon. Walter inspected the pipes, walls, and ventilation system before shrugging. "Old building," he said casually. "Makes noises." Ethan showed him the handprint on the mirror. Walter's expression changed slightly. "That wasn't there before?" "No. Walter stayed silent for several seconds, then quietly asked, "You hear breathing too?" Ethan stared at him. "What?" The landlord forced a smile. "Probably neighbors through the vents. But he left unusually fast after that." That night, Ethan searched online for information about the building. What he found disturbed him immediately. 3 years earlier, a woman named Clara Mendez disappeared from apartment 407. His apartment, according to news reports, neighbors claimed they heard screaming from the bathroom shortly before she vanished. Police never found a body, only water flooding the apartment. Ethan felt sick reading the article. Attached to it was a blurry photo of Clara. And something about the image terrified him instantly. Her bathroom mirror contained a faint handprint identical to the one in his apartment. That night, Ethan decided not to shower. Around 2 a.m., he finally fell asleep on the couch. Then he woke suddenly to the sound of running water. His eyes opened slowly. The bathroom shower was on. Ethan sat upright immediately. He knew. He turned it off earlier. The sound echoed through the dark apartment, water pouring steadily behind the bathroom door. Then came another sound. Singing. A woman softly humming inside the bathroom. Ethan's entire body froze. The humming sounded distorted, uneven, almost drowned beneath the running water. He slowly approached the bathroom. The light beneath the door flickered faintly. The humming stopped. Silence filled the apartment. Then, knock. One soft knock came from inside the bathroom. Ethan stepped backward. Another knock followed, then a whisper. "Ethan!" His blood ran cold. The voice sounded wet, like someone speaking underwater. He turned and ran straight out of the apartment. The next day, he stayed at work as long as possible, terrified of going home. Around midnight, his coworker Daniel noticed something was wrong. After hearing the story, Daniel laughed nervously. "You're freaking yourself out. You don't understand," Ethan whispered. "Something is in that bathroom." Daniel rolled his eyes. "Then let's prove it." Against Ethan's better judgment, they returned to the apartment together. Everything looked normal. No sounds, no whispers. Daniel smirked. "See?" Ethan still felt uneasy. "Stay while I shower," he said quietly. Daniel agreed. Minutes later, Ethan stood under the hot water while Daniel waited outside the bathroom scrolling through his phone. At first, everything seemed fine. Then the breathing started again. Ethan's stomach dropped, slow, heavy. Right behind the curtain, he kept staring toward the blurry outline beyond the plastic. A dark shape stood there, tall, motionless. Ethan whispered shakily, "Daniel!" No answer. The silhouette slowly leaned closer. Water dripped from its body unnaturally. Ethan ripped the curtain open. Nobody there. But Daniel was gone. His phone lay on the bathroom floor outside the tub. The apartment lights suddenly shut off. Darkness swallowed everything. Ethan heard water splashing behind him. He turned slowly. A woman stood inside the bathtub. Her skin looked pale gray beneath wet black hair hanging across her face. Water poured endlessly from her mouth onto the floor tiles. Ethan stumbled backward screaming. The woman lifted one shaking hand and pointed toward the mirror. Words slowly appeared across the fogged glass. "Is in the walls." A loud banging instantly erupted inside the bathroom walls. The entire room shook violently. Boom, 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 like something massive moved through the pipes. Ethan ran toward the door, but it slammed shut by itself. The woman suddenly looked directly at him through strands of wet hair. Her eyes were completely black. Then the tiles behind her cracked open. A long, pale arm emerged from inside the wall. Then another. Dozens of arms pushed through broken tiles, clawing into the bathroom desperately. Ethan screamed and forced the door open. He sprinted into the hallway barefoot while the apartment lights flickered behind him. As he reached the elevator, he looked back once. The woman stood motionless in the apartment doorway, watching him. Water pooled around her feet. Then she smiled. The elevator doors closed. Police searched apartment 407 the next morning after Ethan reported everything. They found severe water damage behind the bathroom walls. And inside the pipes, human bones. At least 4 different victims, including Daniel. Investigators believed a serial killer once used the building's maintenance tunnels to enter apartments through hidden wall spaces. But they never found the killer himself, or explained how Daniel's body appeared inside sealed pipes overnight. Ethan moved out immediately. Months later, he rented a small house outside the city and slowly tried rebuilding his life. For a while, everything felt normal again, until one night after work. Ethan stepped into his new shower and turned on the water. Steam filled the room quietly. Then he heard it, breathing. Slow, heavy, directly outside the curtain, and a familiar wet voice whispered softly, "You still close your eyes in the shower."